Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel Eddieinreadingland. My name is Eddie and today I'm bringing you a review for the Book of Maps by the amazing Benebell Wen. Okay guys, what I'm gonna do first off is put this book down because it is a very thick and chunky book, as you guys can see, and it's not arm day and I already went to the gym today. So I'm just gonna put it over here and we're gonna go down to the camera, to the down camera, so that we can do this review and make this review possible. The first thing I want to say is, look at this gorgeous cover, guys. This is just so beautiful. But the other thing is that this is the best guidebook that I've read for a tarot ever. This book has been well researched. This book has been well written. It is written in vernacular. There are a little bit. There are a few of complex themes being explained in the book, and also you get the occasional 10-cent word. But this book is actually very accessible. I know that it does look intimidating because it is actually very thick. But I read this book fairly quickly, guys. Well, and I do have a lot of time at work to read, and I also read it before bed. But you guys know that I'm a bookworm and that I'm a reader, so. But yes, best book for a tarot that I've ever read. She goes, well, I'll talk about that more later, but she does go into symbols of the cards and the figures being portrayed in the cards, the culture of the figure being portrayed in the cards. So there's a lot of history in this book. There's a lot of symbology. There's a lot of meaning, and there's a lot of occult symbolism and layers to this book. It was very fulfilling to read the Book of Maps. Benebell Wen is definitely one of my favorite writers in the tarot community. Her and Sia Hunt are definitely the top. Benebell has made it such a refreshing and such a new take to the tarot with the tarot that she created. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry guys, this is the Book of Maps for the Spirit Keepers Tarot, the Revelation Edition, which I do have, and I will review that in another video. We're talking about the Book of Maps right now. But what Benebell intended for this book is she wanted to reveal the Pliska Theologica. I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing that right, but Greek is not one of my fortes. I can do Latin pretty well, but Greek not so much. But that what really means is a single truth about divinity, and she did that job extremely well in this book. She goes into the meaning of divination, the meaning of divinity, what she feels is divination and what she feels is divinity for her and in this tarot. I do have to say that divinity, I agree with Benebell in that divinity, it has many faces and it shows for us through different gods, goddesses, personages, energies, call it whatever you want. And this is translated very well into the tarot that she created, and it is explained even better in this Book of Maps. She also wanted to integrate ancient theologies from around the world, and she also wanted to explore how divinity and humanity interact with each other. And if you guys are looking at me looking down, it's because I have my notes over here. You guys know that I always have notes. and that is also covered in this book as well. I believe that she did an amazing job with that. There's so much history, like I said, in covered in this book. So much about the meaning of the symbols and what it means to her, and what those symbols have meant for different cultures. It just depends on the card that she's talking about, but it is inordinately fascinating to read this book. I'm actually going to give it a second read, hopefully next year, I want to say. But as in any case, Benebell also said that her objective is to create the most powerful occult deck humanely possible. Now, is this deck? Currently, probably yes. It's definitely the most occult deck that I have, even more so than the Tot Tarot that I own. And I feel that she did a pretty amazing job with her objective in creating the tarot, and also creating, writing the book of maps for that tarot as well. So I think that she did an amazing job with that. And she said that her intention was to layer an even more magical coating and blur the lines between divination and a ritual invocation. Now, as you guys well know, I am not a magical practitioner per se, but I can definitely see the rich ritual possibilities with this tarot, and also after reading the Book of Maps as well, I can definitely see how ritual does play, or would play, a very good part in your magical practice. For me, this is all research, and this is all information that I'm absorbing, and it's all information that I personally love, and that I really enjoy. I may not be a magical practitioner. I am mostly a desk magician, but just knowing that the possibility, and just knowing that this whole book is such a magical tome, that if I ever wanted to experience that for myself, I will definitely use this book for that. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't use this book at all. I will. This is one of the books that, while using the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, I had to come back to it and read about the cards, because their symbolism is just so rich and so layered and so important to the reading, that I just wanted to refresh my memory onto what a specific card could mean at that point in time, when I was working with this deck with my daily draws. But as in any case, Benebell also said that her one of her other goals, it was to make this tarot, the Spirit Keeper Tarot, and also with the book, make it exoteric, which is basically, for those of us who don't know what exoteric means, is understood by the general public. And I think that she made an excellent job. Their book is written in vernacular, like I said, so it is very easy to understand. It is, I have to admit, or it will be, very difficult for a lot of people to read, not because of the way that it's written, but because the book is just so long. If you are going to attempt to read this book, which I fervently ask you to do, please take your time with it. Don't rush. Take breaks if you need to, because this book is just such a gamma of information, and it's just, reading it makes you feel very fulfilled, or at least it made me feel very fulfilled. But saying that, let's go to some of the things that I wanted to talk about in this book. Now, Benebell does have an introduction to the book. Oh, what happened to what? Oh, there we go. To the book, and that's when she provides her objective, her intention, and her goals for the tarot. As you guys can see, the book has color illustrations all over, and she does go and explains all of these for us. So there's a lot of illustrations in the book. So the book is long, guys. The book is long, but it does have various illustrations throughout, and like I said, it's very easy to read. So here is one of the things that are very interesting about this book, and Benebell set herself to talk about the card back and the box design for the Spirit Tour. This is basically the backs of the book, and also this is also basically the cover for the Spirit Keeper Tarot that we'll see in the review that I'm going to show you guys about the tarot cards specifically. But yeah, so let's see. For the backs, she meant to symbolize the primordial motif of the universe, the integration between physical and spiritual worlds. So this is basically what that is, and this is basically what the this whole chapter is about. In the book, she, like I said, she goes into every single one of the symbols, and she provides a really good explanation about that as well. Everything is covered, guys. Everything is covered, and as you guys can see, here is the box deconstructed on this side. She goes into that. She provides the meaning of the hieroglyphics, of the Hebrew letters, and also other runes or other languages that were used for that as well. All of this actually happens for every single card in the tarot. Not only for the backs of the cards and not only for the box, but this happens for every single one of them. So, and as you guys are going to see here, let's see. Here we start with the majors. Oh, there we go. Here we start with the majors. And as you guys can see, we have a full reproduction of the card. This is the card. And we have the title. She has changed the names for the cards for gods. Actually, most of them. I don't know that she kept. She did keep some of the original names for the cards, but for example, well, the Magus is not very much different from the Magician, and there has been tarots who have used the Magus. But she also provides information like prevailing energy, the power cultivated, the attribute manifested. This is also the spirit's journey, and sometimes she also no, actually not sometimes, and she also provides the hermetic title. But here in the card description, we are being explained the card and the symbols and who this character is, what they're wearing, what they represent, if they're from mythology, what was that story, if they're actually historical person, who that person was and what they did, and why they exemplify, in this case, the Magus so well. Everything is covered. She goes into every single one of these symbols. She also, and this is fascinating, she compares the cards to the original Rider-Waite-Smith and sometimes to the other tarots. I think she does mention the Thoth Tarot on some of the cards. Not very sure which ones right now, but I'm pretty sure that she does. And also she explains or compares them as well to the Marseille for some of the cards too. So we go into every single one of the symbols, and then she provides a card meaning. And here's when we find out what Benebell intended for this card to mean for her tarot. And this is also when it gets really fascinating, in my opinion, because even though the meaning and the interpretation is it sounds familiar, it's very refreshing, especially if you see it with the card over here. When you compare what she's saying in the meaning with the card, it's just fascinating, guys. The experience is actually quite magical, in my opinion. So if Benebell wanted to include magic in her tarot, she definitely did that too. And I know that she did. But yeah, so here we have even more information about the card. She also sometimes goes over her sketches, and she sometimes also provides us with previous sketches of the card and how the current sketch came to be. So that artistic process that you're able to see in the guidebook is also quite fascinating, because as an artist myself and as a person who has sketched their tarot, I know what it is to sketch something and make it come out exactly as you want it to, and then looking at it and then saying, well, this is exactly what I wanted to draw, but it is not what I needed to draw for various reasons, because the meaning is not being conveyed in the way that you want, or the symbology is quite not working. Sometimes it's also due to composition, or you just think it's a bad drawing. But I love seeing the whole process here. She has done such an amazing job, and this is not only for the Magus card, guys. This goes for every single. Here we have the High Priestess with, I believe she calls the Priestess. Yeah. So here we have again the compare and contrast with the Rider-Waite-Smith, and here we have the Hebrew. And I know these are not runes, guys, but I don't remember what they are. But she goes into this with every single one of the cards. Not only the majors, also the core cards and the pips, which we'll see. I'm going to show you as well in a little while. But the other thing that it strikes me as very fascinating with this tarot is that the tarot actually comes with 3 different fools, which Benebell has called the significator. Here we have. She does explain what she means by the significator for her in this tarot, which basically is that it depends on the question that you're asking. That is the fool that she prefers you to use in the deck, and then shuffle that. But she also goes into saying that if we want to use all of the 3 fools in the card in the deck, we can definitely do that. So this is not a this is what I did, so this is what you need to do sort of thing. No, this is what I intended to do. This is what I would prefer that you do. But please feel free to accumulate this knowledge and, add all of the fools to the tarot, and then use that as well if you are so inclined. Which I very much like, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna do whatever I want with the cards that she created. But yeah. So there is. Here we have mention of Aleister Crowley. So she does go into the tarot. I just didn't remember which card, but the Fool. Crowley wrote an entire essay. How many pages was it? Like 15 pages about the Fool, and not very much on what it was supposed to be in divinatory meaning, or very helpful with the symbology. As in any case, this is not about Crowley. This is about Benebell, who we love. I love her. I love her writing. Benebell can do no wrong. But yes. So the reason for the different fools, which actually one of them is called the Initiate, the other one is called the Seeker, and the third one is called the Keeper. It's because they are meant to represent different things, and like I said, they're meant to be there to help us with our questions. So, for example, the Initiate is supposed to be new journey. Oh, here it is. The Initiate is supposed to be a new journey. So whenever you're starting something or you're kickstarting something, This is the key 0 that you're supposed to be using, or that it would be preferred to use. For the seeker is more like when you're looking for clues, or when you're asking for, here is the seeker, when you're asking for advice. Basically, whenever you feel like you're lost and that you're seeking some sort of meaning or some sort of significance, or seeking some sort of path, this is when you need to use the seeker. And the final one, which is a very magical one, is the keeper. Oh, this is very beautiful. The history for this keeper is just amazing. The keeper means anything else, basically, or more purposeful readings. And also, if you are so inclined to do more magical practice, this will also be the Fool for you, as per what Benebell was saying. But I mean, honestly, what I did, I chose one of them and just went with it. I'm also gonna show you guys the cards when I show you the tarot on another video. But I just chose one and did that because I don't work with significators. That is not a practice that I do usually. Actually, I don't remember the last time that I ever used a significator card. But that's in any case. She goes into the description and the meaning and the art for all of the fools as well. And as you guys can see, she will also go into the minors, which I can't. There we go. She also separates the minors into. She also does that with the majors. She separates into 7 groups, the majors, and she does the same thing with the minor arcana. As you can see, these are the 7 upper realms. She also structured tarot a little bit different than most artists and most tarot readers and most tarot deck creators. She has the court cards and the first 3 pips of each suit as the 7 upper realms. I believe this is to do with the Tree of Life and Kabbalah. I don't quite remember the reason why, because this book I've read, it's been a while since I read it, so that's why I say that I want to read it again, and it's probably going to happen for me next year. But yes, so she does have a really good argument about that and why she decided to do that. So everything is explained, guys. Everything is explained. But as you guys can see, here are the aces. And, well, as an example for the Ace of Chalices, she has also a name for the for each of the pips as well. So this one is just called Holy Water, and there's a reason for that. She goes over it. She goes over the lotus. She goes over the dove. She goes over the fountain in the background, the mountains, the water, everything, guys. Everything is covered. There is no symbol that isn't covered. She changes the structure of the court cards. You're going to see this a bit better in when I show you the tarot. But she does change the kings to archangels, the queens to shields, the knights to shining ones, and the pages to heralds. The court cards are extremely fascinating in this deck because they're not bound by a specific gender, as king and queen are. So I thought that was very illuminating and very, very interesting. I'm not very sure that I like the changes in the name of the court cards, but honestly, it wasn't a deterrent, and it wasn't like I wasn't able to read with them, or nor did I felt like because it's not called a king or whatever I want it to be called, I couldn't work with this. Actually, I didn't even think about it at all until just now. Maybe I don't have a problem with it, guys. Okay. Maybe I don't have a problem with it. I feel like we are all of the quirk cards at some point in our lives. So really, fitting them into genders is, well, unnecessary. But as in any case, she does go again into why the archangels are the way they are and who this archangel is and what is the meaning behind this. One of the fascinating things about the archangels is that they all have this little cube over here, which is covered. That is covered. We find out what it means and what they are. I could talk about the symbolism and the history of each of the cards from what I remember a lot. And I'm not going to do that because I will be here for hours and hours and hours because this, again, this deck is just fascinating and so layered and so rich in history and culture and everything that, I'll be here forever. So, but I did want to show you guys, that all of the pips have different names and each card is treated the same. There is no card here that wasn't treated with the same respect, with the same creativity, with the same impetus, with the same love. All of the cards are treated the same. Here we have another example with the Six of Scepters, which she has called the champion. We go into, again, all of the symbols are here. We find out why this person is here. She goes into history again of this, and as you guys can see, all of these little minute details can be found in the card if you so choose to go and find them, which I did. But yeah, no guys, this may look, actually, this is an academic text, but it's just written in vernacular and it's pretty accessible for everybody. It's also very fascinating, and I implore everybody to read this because you will not regret it at all. I do understand, and I know that this is a really big book, and it is intimidating for some of us. But if you do have the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, please read this book because it'll make your reading so much richer, so much more fulfilling and grander. It's very inspiring to use this deck, guys. I used it for 2 seasons and I thought I was going to use it only for 1. That's how good this deck is for me. I think this is one of those decks that I know that this is going to be one of those decks that I'm going to use yearly, along with the Sia decks. I know that Benebell is actually working on a new tarot based on the Atela tarot. I think she's calling it the Hermes Tot tarot. I could be wrong. Oh, here's one of my favorite cards, the Necromancer. But yeah, guys. There is a part where she. It's a good thing that I was flipping through this because there is a part where Benebell has given us a snippet or a small divinatory meaning for the hexagrams of the I Ching. That is because the cards, when you put 2 cards together from the Spirit Keeper Tarot, you will make a hexagram with them. She does go into that as well in the book. She teaches us how to do it, but I'm going to go over that when I review her other book, the I Ching, the I Ching Oracle. But know that you don't have to get the I Ching, the Oracle that she wrote. There are some passages here that you can use if you so want to use the I Ching as well. So like I said, this is a very rich, very layered book in tarot, and it's very, very worth it. Actually, the reason why or how I came to purchase this book in the Spirit Keepers Tarot was because I was working at Bookman's, and Bookman's is a secondhand store for books and other sources of entertainment like video games and figurines and comics and more stuff. It's actually it was one of my favorite jobs that I've ever done. I would still be there if it weren't for the fact that we moved about an hour from Bookman's. I would still be there though because I really enjoy that job. It's being with the books all day is just dream come true for a bookworm. But I got this book because somebody turned in the Book of Maps with the Spirit Keepers Tarot, and first of all, they didn't know the value of this tarot, which was quite unfortunate. Well, fortunate for me. When they came in with this tarot, though, I wasn't there. I wasn't the person at the counter that day taking deals or taking books for exchange. I would have offered a better deal than my coworker who was there offered. Clearly, the person who exchanged this did not know the value of this because I got it for a very cheap price, guys. It was less than mass market decks for both the book and the tarot. And I know this tarot is going for a lot of money right now on eBay. I did search and it's going quite high up there. I thought I was never going to be able to work with this tarot at all. And I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to actually buy it from the place that I work, Bookman's. So yeah, very fortunate to have this, guys. And I know that I'm very fortunate because I know that you can't get this tarot anymore. It's out of print. The copies that are sold, and I don't think that there's going to be any more, especially because Benebell is, like I said, working on another deck. So, but as in any case, guys, thank you so much for being here on this fangirl moment that I just had for the Book of Maps, the Revelation edition from Benebell Wen. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to attempt to read this book, or if you have attempted to read this book and if you liked it, or what was your favorite part. Please let me know. My favorite part definitely was learning about the myriad of cultures that I learned and the characters who are present in this book. I just love information, guys. You know that I love information. But thank you so much for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. But I'll see you on the next one. Do what you want, but you're gonna break me. Sticks and stones, you're never gonna shake me, yo. Ooh, wow. Take me away, a secret place. Afraid to stay on holiday. I got a pocket full of sunshine. I got a lovely moment. Yeah. You did a really good job, husband. How was it difficult? I mean, these light bulbs should be available for.
You have to match the right number of lumens and the color of the light, so it doesn't look too yellow or too blue.
Okay.
And that's what I had to do. It looks like it's a little bit dimmer than the other.
No, it does not. It is the same. Go away, you freak.